Hello, good morning. It is 5 p.m. We are doing a little bit of housekeeping on the 340 today. Biggest check boxes for this car, just due to the fact of how much it affects the drive of this car. The dampers are going out. It bounces so much in the front. I believe the spring rate from BC Coilovers is 6K front, 12K rear. And if you don't know much about coilovers like me, 6K is very, very low, very bouncy. For as low as the car is, if you want to call it that, is a little too bouncy. I had an incident a month ago now. Went to lift up the wheel because I was hearing clunking for like 2 months. And I'm like, this is so annoying. I ripped off the wheel and the collar itself was detached from the thread. So, and I'll just put that photo right here because it's easier to see than it is to say. This is kind of how she sits now. She looks good. I used to have bigger tires in the rear, so it used to fit a little bit better than it does now, but we're gonna try to maybe go a smidge lower in the rear and then match the front. Coilovers that I'm going on are SIlver NEOMAXs. I believe it's a super low kit, is that right? Yeah, okay, it's a super low kit. I got Swift springs only in the rear. I was just gonna get standard on front and back, but they didn't have standard for the rear because they were out of stock. So they should be like 202 in the rear and 8-inch in the front. So it should sit a little bit lower. Changed to this for a while. So just taking the big check box and checking it off. There's plenty that this car needs, but this is the one that my attention goes to right now because it's the way this car drives. This is by no means an install video. This is my first time actually doing coilovers. If you like this kind of thing, just let me know. This is kind of just a way for me to get momentum because I'm very lazy when it comes to YouTube and I would like to be more consistent. So pain in the dick, bruh.
Straight? Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Something I'm going to mention, which I did forget to say in the video, but make sure you set your preload. This is a base preload, so what she's doing is she's releasing right where the tension starts, putting that collar up, and then putting the locking collar up right there, and now she is going to preload it up 5 millimeters, which generally is the size of the wrench. So you see where she puts the wrench in there. And now that it's 5 millimeters and she's checked and she can adjust it as so, and now she's putting the locking collar up and then she will lock it in place. Now we're finished. It's much lower in the rear. You can just barely see where it tucks up, but it's a little bit taller in the front, but we can fix that later. So I'm gonna go take a hot lap. So yeah, I'm doing the hot lap now. First review is they feel much better than the BCs. Not actually bad to drive my car. The other ones were so bouncy in the front. I wish I had a clip of it because every time I tried to catch it, it just wouldn't be as bouncy. But even that little bump I just went over didn't feel like much. And I put it 5 from soft on the front and the rear, and no huge noises quite yet. I'm excited to drive it home. Dude, I mean, 4 hours later, huge success, and I would not be able to do this without my friends because this is my first time. Dude, hot lap was fine. I didn't even feel that. I just went over the huge dip. That's crazy. No, but dude, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm gonna say right now, the short 5-minute drive, SIlver's is a really good review. Kind of hard to tell how dark it is, but it's definitely a little bit lower in the rear, but I am okay with that for now, especially. My last setup, I had bigger tires. So currently in the rear, I have 275, 35, 18, and I used to have 285, 35, 18, and those were pushed out so far that they would rub no matter what, unless I raised it. And then the front, I have 255, 40, 18, and that creates the bigger sidewall. I've tried 255, 35, which is, you know, the slightly bigger or smaller sidewall, and that did not look good, and I scraped more, and that's what I don't want. So now we're a little bit lower. That was kind of like an ick of mine before, as the car always looked a little bit weird from the rear, because it looked a little bit higher, but now it's really hard to tell. So that's the front, and the rear right there. You can see I still got around -2 in the rear, and then the front is like almost at 0. Really hard to tell. But yeah, she looks miles better. Miles better, and it rides so much better. That's the reason why I did it, is because it is gonna ride just that much better. Next day, this is currently how it sits. I just did the alignment, and my small review of the coilovers so far is that they are great. I do love them. A little bit of complaint from sounds that I was trying to get rid of by buying the coilovers. The complaint that I have is that they rattle a little bit in the front, which might be the sway bar end links. My friend said she had the similar issue with hers, and I'm just thinking that's what the deal is. So to me, it's not like a night and day difference, it's more like a night and afternoon type difference. So this is the difference of how it sits. So this setup specifically, I did not measure too much. I believe that's at 1 inch left on the collar, and that's a little less than that. I'm struggling to remember, it was really late last night, but it's a little bit lower in the rear. Almost looks like a little bit of a squat. That's better for me because now the car looks way more level. Doesn't tuck as much in the front, but that's how I prefer it because I'm running less camber at the front. If you want to match these specs, at least for the camber, -1 in the front, and then close to -3 in the rear. And -3 was just because of how much lower it is before. Before, it was just -2 all around. So -3 rear, -1 front, if you want to match. And then if you want to match tire specs, 255, 40, 18. And if you want to match the rear, it is 275, 35, 18. The wheel specs are 18 by 9.5 plus 38 all around. So they're a little bit big, but it fits the M Sport brakes just fine. If you have the normal brakes, then you should be fine. Well, not really a night and day difference, more like a night and afternoon difference, but so far I am loving them. Now this is gonna kind of conclude the video. I'm sorry it's a little bit choppy. I would have liked a little more preparation for this video, and the next ones will be a little more better prepared. I'm just kind of been in a rush this week, got a lot going on, so thank you for tuning in, and feel free to request some stuff in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. Also, I have a podcast, Chill Out Ben. Anyways.